In our last video, A Firm Foundation, the first video of our purpose series, we talked a little bit about what our purpose is. We defined purpose according to Isaiah 43 and 7. Everyone that is called by my name, for I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, yea, I have made him. We talked a little bit about understanding that our purpose as believers is to give God glory. That is why he created us. In this video, I want to talk about God's glory. We've defined what our purpose is, and our purpose is to give him glory. We were created for his glory. It's important for us to understand what is his glory. The Merriam-Webster's definition of glory is praise, honor, or distinction extended by common consent, renown. And the biblical definition of glory is God's presence, his majesty, his goodness, the essence of who he is, his beauty, his nature, his presence, right? Like the manifestation of who God is his glory. Based off of both of those definitions, we see these two concepts of glory. We see glory in terms of us giving God glory. You know, when people, what's the song? We've come to lift our hands and give God glory. We've come to lift our hands and give him praise. We've come to lift God and give him glory, give him glory, give him glory. We've come to, so giving him glory means to give him praise, to give him honor, to worship him, right? So we're sending up a sound that says, we love you, Lord. We honor you. We worship you. That is giving God glory. And then the second concept we see is glory in terms of God's glory. So God is glory, or God as glory. And we see this type of glory in, we see it throughout the Bible. But I want to pull Exodus 33 and 18, where it talks about Moses and when he saw the Lord's glory. So in in verse 18, he says, and he said, I beseech thee, show me thy glory. New Living Translation says, Moses responded, then show me your glorious presence. Okay, then the Lord replied, I will make all my goodness pass before thee, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before thee, and will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and will show mercy on whom I show mercy. And he said, thou cannot see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. And the Lord said, behold, there is a place by me, and thou shalt stand upon a rock. And it shall come to pass, while my glory passeth by, and I will put thee in a cleft of the rock, and will cover thee with my hand while I pass by. And I will take my hand away, and thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. So Moses is asking the Lord, show me your glory. And the Lord proceeds to show him a form of himself, right? So he doesn't show Moses his face, but he is allowing Moses to experience the essence of who he is. He is allowing Moses to experience a form of who he is, right? So his glory is so magnificent that he can't even show Moses his face. Moses can only stand seeing the back of God. Okay, so those are the two concepts that we see, right? Giving God glory, and then God as glory. So God's glory. I want to pull in Genesis 1 and 27, okay? Because we're going to go there. Genesis 1 and 27 says, okay, so God created human beings in his image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. So let's go back. Isaiah 43 and 7 says we were created for his glory. And then Genesis 1 and 27 says We were created in his image, okay? Definition of image is the visual representation of something. What is God's image? If we were created in his image, but we were also created for his glory, and we understand his glory to be his presence, his majesty, his goodness, his beauty, the essence and nature of who he is, then that means he has made us with a form of his glory. We reflect a form of God's glory. So there are parts of God that should be reflected in us because we were created in his image. Okay? The second part of that, when we talk about God's image, we know God's image is love. His image is his character. His image is peace. His image is joy. His image is goodness, right? His image is the fruit of the Spirit. How do I know that? I know that because I can go back to the blueprint, okay? I can go back to 2 Corinthians 4 and 4 through 6 that says, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, would shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves, but Christ Jesus the Lord, and ourselves your servants for Jesus' sake. For God, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, hath shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. Okay? So I'm going to read the New Living Translation. For God, who said, let there be light in the darkness, has made this light shine in our hearts, so we could know the glory of God that is seen in the face of Jesus Christ. So this tells me that the glory of God is seen in the face of Jesus Christ. Jesus is made in his Father's image, right? Jesus is made in his Father's image. Colossians 1:15 says he is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. So Jesus is the image of the invisible God. So if Jesus was created in God's image, we were created in God's image, but we were also created for his glory. That means we should be living our lives in such a way that reflects Jesus. Okay, we've got to continuously go back to the blueprint, which is Jesus. I have to be like Jesus. I have to continuously live my life like Jesus, because Jesus is the image of the invisible God. Jesus. It's Jesus. That is how I reflect God's image, right? Being like Jesus. So this is just one of the ways that I use my life to give him glory. We were created for his glory. We were created to show up like him. Ultimately, being created for his glory means we reflect his presence, we reflect his goodness, we reflect his essence and his nature here on earth. And we do that through the image of the invisible God, which is Jesus. Jesus is the blueprint. So he sets the foundation for how we should live our lives. That is how we live out this thing and give God glory. We use our lives to give him glory. It's so good to me. It's so good to me. It is so good to me. In the next video, we will talk about how we do that. So I pray that this blessed you. I pray that this helps to shine a light on being created for his glory and understanding that we are to give him glory, but glory itself, it's his essence, right? So when you say his glory fills the room, his presence fills the room. God himself came and rested on us. So I hope that helps. I pray that it frees you in a way. Because I know in our first video, we talked about how purpose sometimes can leave us yearning, right? Like we're just searching for the thing that is our purpose. Like when I find this particular thing, it's going to free me, right? Like I'm going to be satisfied with life. But the only way that you can be satisfied with life is to understand that you were created for his glory. You were created for God's glory. And how you give him glory is by using your life to reflect his image here on earth. And there's different ways that we can do that. And we will talk a little bit about what those different ways look like in our next videos. I pray that you would understand a little bit more your purpose. You would be open to exploring how you're going to use your life to give God glory, how you are going to reflect his image here on earth through your life. So I pray that you will continue to live your life poured out like oil. And until next time, I will talk to you guys soon.